Good morning, Brian with Grand Roofing, doing a real quick roof leak inspection. Going to bring you guys along. Maybe we can learn something from this. So I'm trying to be a little careful here because it is a bit of a pitchy roof. I've got the crew paws on to walk it. And what we got going on is right in this general area. So I'll give you a broad overview of everything. Then I'll start digging into some things, kind of pointing out some, evidence, and then seeing if you guys want to comment down below. Just play a little fun game here, what you think it might be. So just got out of the attic with the homeowner, and in this spot at the corner wall right here is a wet spot of wood, the decking, right on the OSB here, right at the corner, right below this. And then it's going down that corner wall into the attic and trying to get caught in 2 buckets in that spot here. So we're gonna start from some known things. Got a closed cut valley here. A lot of water dumping out from this downspout right here. We're gonna look at some flashing. So typically, whenever there's a wall, a chimney, a cricket, saddle, whatever, I'm looking for a little piece of a kick out flashing, like this right here. When this shingle comes up, if you've done it right, it gets cut snug under everything you're seeing here, but there's a cut, like the shape of a sideways L right there, okay? Make an L on your shingle, tilt it sideways, it's gonna shove up to there, under the flashing. A lot of times people will hang one down, they cut it and fold it, which is not good because there's a penetration right there. Water coming down will go into right there. But I want to point out and just note the color of this flashing right here. Okay, so we're just going to keep that in mind. It also looks like they used step flashing. Right here, you can see there's a piece right there, so it's not apron, it's step flash. Just pointing out some things to keep in mind. The shingle is a Owens Corning duration shingle, so they're older sure nail, but not when that was the plastic. If you look right there, you can see the cloth. One of these was loose enough, probably this one right here, no, right there. So if you look right there, you can see their classic sure nail. And so we know that is a metric shingle. Okay, so just keeping in mind some of the facts. It's a metric shingle, meaning it's past 5-inch exposure. Now let's back up. What do we know about the mill finish flashing? Not all. You can get some bigger size flashing that is mill finish. Most of the time they're painted. But, well, I'm sorry, not most of the time. Most of the time they're mill finish like this. They're going to be the 5-inch for a 5-inch shingle exposure, meaning they're not tall enough. They'll cover a standard 5-inch reveal and a little bit more. Then you put your next piece down, your next shingle, whatever. The metric shingles on the market now, you need a bigger piece of flashing. It's like 8 inches tall, 4-inch by 4-inch. It gets up the wall on the roof deck far enough up to cover the bigger size shingle here. Some other little evidence I want to point out, facts here. What we got here? It's cut. That tells me, based on the location of this right here and the way it's cut, it's the old flashing for the 5-inch exposure. The shingles go up higher, making this off. Got wood cedar siding here, it's painted. It's probably been pinned by nails and you can't adjust it, can't shove it up and down. They never added new. So they're using the old and they cut the reveal part. That is not good because it actually shifts from where it should be on the roof deck, near your common bond, near your reveal right here. This bottom factory edge piece right here should break right up in this area. Then the next shingle, the next piece of step would be right there. So I'm guessing they double stacked this one. It's because you don't see it cut. I'm not gonna be able to get under there. Anyway, I'm just kind of pointing out some things, the anatomy, the material that's here. Another thing I want to point out, this isn't the issue, but I do want to point out close cut valleys. See this point right here? That's not good. Years ago, people did this. The old timers did it. Yeah, I've seen issues with it. A lot of the old timers say, oh, it's never been a problem. Manufacturers, though, state now if you do a close cut valley, you need to nip the corner. Just a little bit of a dog ear. My left boot's slipping a little bit. That way, water rush in this valley here doesn't catch this point and run laterally under. If I can get my phone down here low enough, see the top of that shingle? See that debris right off the tip of my finger? See that debris line? See how that runs up under there? You never want nails in your valley. You want them out a little ways, but I've seen over time where water can trickle over far enough, getting around those nails over long enough time will rust those nails out and you have a penetration and leaks develop. I've seen plenty of leaks over the years because of that. That's not the issue here. I just want to point some of the things out when I'm looking through methodically what is going on. But I want to emphasize enough, you know, stress the fact of the old mill finish. Keep that in mind. Let's move up to where the actual leak is. A little piece sticking out, which is good. It means they took the time to maybe split this and get this added. I highly doubt that was from the original roof. This roof, I believe, was put on around 2010, the homeowner said. Now here's where it gets interesting. Look at the angle of the roof and the way it intersects that wall. We'll come back to that. Look at the debris trail, all the loose debris, but see the dirty water trail? All the water coming off right at that fascia board, running straight down into that there. Let's jump up here. There's a really steep valley. I don't see anything really wrong with that valley. You do have to be careful if you're doing something like this in the cold weather, especially if it's not pollen modified, because the shingles could easily crack being pushed into that trough right there. But point being, there's a large volume of water funneling through, coming down right here. Let's go back to this here. If you haven't caught on to it yet, what I'm looking at right here for the leak, and you want to pause the video and maybe drop a comment down below, then read other people's comments, and I'll point out what I've seen go wrong in a scenario when the roof is at an angle like this, when it comes to the old flashing and metric shingles. So you got a piece of flashing, it's vertical like this, from point A to point B, the shortest distance. It's going to take up whatever that is. In this case, it's probably 5 5/8 or so exposure right here. Now I'm gonna not change my finger here. It's going to be anchored and pivoted at my thumb. Now if I go down at an angle, see how much we dropped? Why I'm showing that. If you don't double stack, or possibly even need a triple stack with this old 5-inch exposure, and you're just relying on one, you're not gonna get high enough up the shingle coverage here. So when water comes in, you're actually gonna miss the piece of flashing. If you're not paying close attention when putting this in here, whoever roofed this section, it's very possible water's not gonna, you know, funnel down on your step flashing. You either need to double stack it, even if you use the larger mill finish or the larger painted 4x4x8, and you swing it down at that angle, it's still not going to lap high enough up. With the amount of water hitting this right here, not good. So what I think is going on is they don't have adequate flashing, step flashing in there. It's probably not near high enough up the wall either, because this doesn't look like it's ever been taken off. This one looks like maybe it's split right here. Down here they sealed. I don't know that they split it to take it out, or if it's just cracked and they tried to caulk it. If you look right here, one of these areas, it's a little soft down in here. I imagine water's getting in, it's probably seeping up the wall, probably jumping and bypassing and flashing. Flashing's not tall enough. In this area here, I probably would have taken this siding off no more than there is, gotten some ice and water up there just as a little precaution, but taken a piece of coil stock, plenty far up the wall, plenty far up the roof deck, plenty high to get your shingles and stuff in here. Then take another large piece of coil and use it as steps. You're getting plenty far up there. Make sure it come out far up higher. The other thing you could probably do here is get a diverter. Get this water out farther from running down your fascia board, rotting this out. You never want your wood, I don't care if it's cedar, into your roof deck so tight, because those wood grains are going to soak the water in right there. Cause that to rot out like you're starting to see right there. But that's a lot of water volume. Missing the gutter here. You never want your gutters pouring into shingles, but looks like you got a lot of drop right here. This probably could have been cut by hand and been tighter in there with a little bit of a diverter to get it into the gutter. Would eliminate all that volume of water coming down right in this corner here. And if they would have used the right flashing, I'm pretty confident. Cougar paws are starting to wear out and slip here a little bit. This is the issue right here due to the flashing. Not just this is the issue because here's the leak, but the fact that they didn't flash it correctly. So for this solution, what I think needs to happen here, starting from right where this gutter downspout is, remove the gutter downspout. You have to take away these shingles here up that wall. Chances are you can salvage this and not need to get into the valley. as long as the flashing's under there. Because if you get into the valley, especially a low side, it's gonna be a pain trying to get in there and not damage. You might have to go all the way up that valley. I don't think that's the issue. I don't think I need to get into it. I think the repair could terminate right up here. Take this siding off, do it like I said, redo all this, make sure everything's flash good, extends the kickouts up high enough, everything I just talked about. I guess the point being, if you're a roofing contractor, let's just kill my ankles. You never want to stand in here too. Also, this valley, those corners need nipped all the way down. You reach in with a hook blade, be careful, cut those. I have seen issues with that. All right, so if you're a contractor, not crack my head into there, and you're re-roofing, or you're an installer, foreman, whatever the case may be, if you're using the old mill finish and you're not reflashing it, you really need to be cautious. Flashing's cheap, callbacks are not. So if you are going to use the old mill finish, add a piece of flashing tucked under the high side, on top of the low side, where needed. You can't just simply cut it short, leave it where it is, and continue on, because the flashing does not line up where it needs to be with the shingles. Just reflash it. Now, siding like this, it can be kind of a pain to work under here. But again, do you want callbacks and issues and affecting your brand because you can't get a leak to stop when you're doing this in the first place? You should have taken a little extra time to do it right. You can add small pieces of step flashing, slip it in between the old. It can be done. And now for the last little bit of information. If you're a homeowner and you're shopping around for contractors, I see this all the time. Not 100% of the time, but a lot of the time. People are looking for the cheapest price. You typically pay for what you get. So I get a lot of people that think my prices for repairs are high, my prices for roofs are high. But one, want to make sure we do it right, using the appropriate flashing. I mean, one little pack of step flashing nowadays is like 85 to 100 bucks. A roll of metal, $100, $130. This stuff adds up quick. True story, somebody else recently had to do a repair. Somebody went with a contractor trying to fix their leak because they went ghosted on them after a couple of years, couldn't get it stopped. I'm like, hey, what'd you get? What shingle brands may help me out? Because he's got his invoice. He's like, oh, well, it said 30-year shingle. I was like, did it say a brand, a color, anything? No. I was like, what did it say? He's like, well, there was a pamphlet of this Owens Corning Stormfighter Flex shingle. I'm like, I can tell you, you did not get that. That's a higher end, like 3 grades up. You got your Oak Ridge, your Duration, then your Storm. In this case, it was an ICO shingle, vertical cut, full shingle, clearly says, ICO on it. I'm like, bait and switch. So the other thing, if you have a contractor you want to use, you want to make sure they got the reputation, they're going to come back and take care of it, fix it, have the knowledge to take care of it, or more importantly, the assets to go after if they do screw something up or burn your house down. Is it worth saving a few bucks now for somebody that doesn't have the appropriate insurance? They burn your house down and you're screwed. Here's another quick little true story. A couple years ago, somebody burned this guy's house down. He was a painter, and a guy doing his flooring and took all the dust from his floor he sanded, put in a trash can, left it in the sun right next to the house. It did combust, burned the house down damn near completely. Half of it was destroyed, and the guy didn't have insurance, and the homeowner was kind of screwed. So you typically pay for what you get. Anyway, I hope this video helped. If you could, give it a quick thumbs up. If you got any benefit out of it, read the comments down below. Let's keep it friendly. Until next time, be safe. We'll see you then.